What's going on, guys? Alain Gonzalez here, and just out here on my almost daily walk. Got my water, and they're building all these new houses in my community, and it got me thinking. Um, you know, when it comes to building muscle, our carbs, fats, and proteins are, in a sense, very similar to building a house, right? Here's what I mean. If we only had protein, right, but we didn't have carbs and fats, here's what's going to happen. We are going to have enough bricks to build the house, but we may not have enough workers to do it efficiently. And those workers that we do have, if any, are not going to be very energetic. They're not going to be able to kind of move around all the lumber and the bricks efficiently, and so it might take much longer to build the house. In fact, you might not even be able to build the house, okay? Because by the time they finish X amount, maybe a hurricane hits, something like that, aka caloric deficit, and wipes us out. So we got to restart, and so it's just not going to happen. At least not maximally, okay? So the fats are essentially the workers, right? We need fats because this is what balances our anabolic hormone levels. And so what happens when we don't have enough fats is we don't have enough workers, right? And so the workers, if we don't have enough fat, might be 10 of them trying to build this house. But when our hormone balance, or our hormones are balanced, rather, now we've got 50 workers instead building that same house. So you can see that they're going to become more efficient at building that house. Okay? And then we got carbs. Carbs are basically the energy with which these workers build the house, right? Because carbs are our energy. Although there is something called gluconeogenesis, which allows us to convert certain fats and amino acids into glucose for energy, it's just not ideal. Okay, you certainly can, especially if your calories are high enough, but it's just not optimal, right? And we want optimal. So we want to have enough carbs to kind of fuel our workouts, because the better our workouts, the more muscle we'll gain, because obviously we want to perform better. We want to increase strength, and when we do that, we gain muscle. Okay, so the carbs are what's going to fuel these workers. So these workers now have more energy to lug around these bricks and this lumber, and so even though there were 50 before, they may not have had the same energy, right? And so they still would have built the house before, but now that they have more energy, they're able to build it faster. Okay, now here's the thing with protein. If we don't have enough protein, we'll never build muscle, because we just don't have enough bricks for the house, right? And this is why protein is always at the forefront. We always need to ensure we're getting enough protein, because without it, again, we just don't have enough bricks to build the house. No matter how many workers, how high energy they are, if we don't have the bricks, we don't have the tools, we'll never be able to build the house. So that's why they're all important. Now, quickly, we'll go over some guidelines as to, how much we need. So for protein, we want 1 gram per pound of body weight. That's a good guideline. That's a good aim, right? Because if you fall short, you'll probably still be getting enough. Okay? So I would say that maybe 0.8 grams is enough, but the thing is if you aim for 0.8 and then you fall short, you're probably not going to be eating enough, especially if you're training regularly, heavy, high intensity, things like that. All right? Fats, a good place to start would be 0.5 grams per pound of body weight. And although you don't need that much, especially if you're in a caloric surplus, having that many fats is going to allow you to add more variety into your diet without actually going over your fat intake or your calories in general, right? And as you want to cut or transition into getting leaner, You could certainly decrease your fats a little, but I wouldn't do it too much because that's going to make dieting less enjoyable, especially if you've got a lot of carbs to play with. I'd just pull from there instead. Now, the carbs is going to be essentially the remainder of your calories, right? So we know exactly how much protein we need, convert that into calories, do the same with fats, and then whatever's left over from your total calorie intake, that can be carbs, okay? And then you can easily increase your carbs whenever you need more calories to ensure that you're continuing to grow. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. If you want to build the house efficiently, then, sorry for the noise, there's a plane, but if you want to build the house efficiently, you need all the tools and the bricks. You need enough workers, and you need to ensure that those workers have enough energy to complete the task efficiently. Talk soon.